but they have a lot of others that you might be interested in. Some of them we don't recommend, but again, as we've always told you, don't believe what I tell you. Don't believe what anybody else tells you. Don't believe what you read. Don't believe what some salesman's going to suggest. You have to make up your own mind, and you have to do it from a ground level of knowledge. They have everything there for you. They know what you need. They know what I believe, and they have told me and assured me that they're not going to steer you wrong, and I believe that they're telling me the truth. Now, if they do, perchance, I want you to call me right away. Let me know immediately, because if anything happens that's not right with this sponsor, we'll drop them like a hot potato. But I'm telling you right now, they've passed every test that we could give them, and we believe that this is a good chance for all of you who've been asking me how to protect your assets, how to survive the depression that we're in and the coming economic collapse. I'm talking about Swiss America Trading Corporation. In part, I've been very leery of allowing just anybody to buy time on my show, and the result has been that we just haven't had any sponsors, folks. Not that people haven't applied to be sponsors. Many have. We've turned them down. But I'm now proud to announce this new alliance. Swiss America Trading Corporation and myself are committed to preparing you, the listening audience, for the upcoming economic trauma. For over 11 years, folks, Swiss America has been supplying over 10,000 clients with hard assets and constant information on how best to protect their assets. For a limited time, those of you interested can receive a complimentary newsletter if you tell them that you heard about this on the Hour of the Time from me, William Cooper. Ask for the information on, quote, protecting your future, unquote. Call now, 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646. One more time, 1-800-289-2646. Invest 1 hour in reading this information, because it's one of the most important publications of our times, and I think you're going to agree when you see it. Now, you all know what's coming, so if you don't do anything about it, you've been asking me what my recommendation is, you just heard it. It's up to you. It doesn't cost you anything to call. The information is free. No one's going to bug you, and you don't ever have to do anything else if you don't want to. Okay? Okay, folks, the first thing in the bibliography that you need to get started, I'm going to recommend to you is a book. This is a thick book. The title of it is Our Ageless Constitution. Our Ageless Constitution. Now, I'm not going to say these things slow. I'm going to repeat everything twice, but I'm going to keep on going because I've got a lot of information to give you. Either make a tape of this broadcast or order the tape, or if you can, write fast and get the information down, but get it, because you need to read these books. You need them for your personal library. You need them to know what's going on in the world and who's bringing it about. Our Ageless Constitution, edited by W. David Stedman, S-T-E-D-M-A-N, and Lavon G. Lewis. It's part of the Stedman Liberty Library, published by W. David Stedman Associates. Now, I don't know where you can order this book from, folks. I got it, as I always get my books, from used bookstores, from people who find something and send it to me, from scrounging in thrift shops, from new bookstores. I have a library that's unbelievable. Most of you would be awed by the books that I have. Most of my income throughout the years has gone toward stocking this library, simply because I learned a long time ago that the sum total of all man's knowledge is contained in books, but you have to root it out. Not all books are true. Not all books tell the truth. Not all books are all lies. It's sort of a mixture, but you have to have the information available to do the research and come up with the answers. Okay, now once you've got that book, you have everything you need to know about the history, the ideals, the purpose, everything behind the founding of this country. And if you don't know that, you don't know anything about this country, so you need it. The next book that I'm going to recommend, because you need to know the symbology and the history and who these people really are is a book that was originally printed in the 1700s. In fact, the beginning, it's called the Templar's Chart, the Masonic Chart, the Templar Chart, and the beginning has a letter to the editors of the New York Express, and it's signed by Benjamin Franklin. It's a very old book. It has the complete history, according to Freemasonry, of Freemasonry. It's entitled, and this is the title of the book, The True Masonic Chart, or Hieroglyphic Monitor, containing all the emblems explained in the degrees of entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, mark master, pass master, most excellent master, royal ark, royal master, and select master. Designed and duly arranged, agreeably to the lecturers by R.W. Jeremy L. Cross, G.L., to which are added illustrations, charges, songs, etc., with additions and emendations. Also, a complete history of Freemasonry by a brother. This copy that I have is the 12th and stereotype edition, printed in New York, published by A.S. Barnes and Company, 51 John Street, in 1854. You can find treasures like this if you look. Most people, though, sit back and say, "Oh, I don't know where to find that. I don't know anything about doing research. Why don't you tell me?" That's not the way to do it, folks. Not the way to do it. The second book I'm going to recommend here that you get is a book by Joseph Campbell, probably the world's foremost authority on myth and mythology. This book is entitled Primitive Mythology, The Masks of God. Again, it's by Joseph Campbell, Primitive Mythology, The Masks of God. And I believe it's printed by Penguin Books. Okay. Next one is also by Joseph Campbell, Occidental Mythology, The Masks of God. It's by Joseph Campbell, entitled Occidental Mythology, The Masks of God. Also published by Penguin Books. Now, I've got all these books stacked up around here, so if you hear a moment of silence, it's because I'm reaching for something. I literally have surrounded myself with stacks of books. I'm going to give you the title, author, and publisher of as many as I can, starting with the most important for you to use to get started with and working on down. Next one is by Joseph Campbell again. The title is Creative Mythology, The Masks of God. Creative Mythology, The Masks of God, also by Joseph Campbell and published by Penguin Books. The next one, folks, is The Sacred and the Profane. The title is The Sacred and the Profane. The subtitle is The Nature of Religion, the Significance of Religious Myth, Symbolism, and Ritual Within Life and Culture. And it's by Mircea Eliade. Mircea Eliade. It's actually translated from a foreign language. It's printed by Harcourt Brace Jovanovich. Harcourt Brace Jovanovich. Next one is an important book. Once you get into the symbology of the mystery schools and the occult, you learn that geometry and Hermetic science become very important. Now, this book is entitled Occult Geometry and Hermetic Science of Motion and Number. Occult Geometry and Hermetic Science of Motion and Number, a combined edition by A.S. Riley. A.S. Riley. And this is published by Divorce Publications. That's spelled D-E-V as in Victor, O-R-S-S. And there's some treasures in these books. Now, these are books that most people pass by. They look at them and say, "Oh, this is boring," or "I would never learn anything from that." And most people would never even pick up one of these books. But I'm telling you, folks, you better